We're just two friends who love the movies, call each other every morning. Hey, good morning, Mitch.
Good morning, man.
Oh, man. Whew. It is freezing out here. How is it over there?
It's very cold.
Oh, very cold.
It's literally freezing. Yes.
Dude, you getting yourself some coffee or what?
Yeah, I just turned down the spigot and heated up my cup that I've been nursing this morning.
Well, that's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. Oh, dude. I watched the first great movie of 2026 last night.
Oh, 28 years later.
The Bone Temple. Yes, dude.
Wow.
I'm loving where they're taking these movies, man.
Are they gonna keep going?
They're making one more.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it had only been a planned trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this movie, it made me appreciate the first one, the one previous, even more. And in some ways, it's weird because we were just talking about the Lord of the Rings. You know how both of them, the first two, kind of feel like, they're holes, but they also feel like a little incomplete, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they're the first and second part. Well, I love this one, but there, if you combine them, you have yourself just an incredible two films. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where they take the third one because the ending, oh man, the talk about a cliffhanger, right? Um, there's a cliffhanger, and then the big climax scene at the very end. It's not what I expected, and it is just it's my favorite scene of in not only obviously 2026 so far, but maybe in the past 2025 as well. So it's just great, man. There's a lot going on with these films. It's not just about zombies. Um, Ray Fiennes absolutely kills it. He's the MVP. Um, so yeah, dude, I love this movie. I absolutely loved it.
Oh my goodness, dude. I just got an Amber Alert. It's not an Amber Alert, just a missing girl alert. 11 years old.
Ah, dude,
And yeah, hope they find her.
that's not
Actually,
good, man.
Smyrna, Atlanta Road. Not exactly my area, but um, yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you liked it. Have you seen other 2026 movies?
I've seen a couple of them. They've been mostly streaming movies that Vanessa had put on. Oh man, there's this new one on Netflix. Like I can't remember what she put it on. What's the name of it? Dude, that's the thing. Like I feel like Netflix movies and these Amazon movies are the new direct to home video type.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just me, but although slightly better made, a lot of them just kind of get a little bit mixed up for me. So it's kind of hard to remember which one's which because they're all very
yeah,
similar.
yeah. You ever been on your marathon trying to get your list made and accidentally watch a movie from either the next year or the previous year?
Yes, and that hence why you'll see me in the chat texting y'all. Hey, what if it was released like this and this? I'll ask questions.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always now I'm having because like, and it absolutely does not matter. in the grand scheme, but you're just like, no, no, I lost 2 hours. That means I'm gonna lose another list contender. It's not gonna get
Yeah,
to
because
get to see the light of day.
you watched that one instead of something you could have been. I get you. So, did that happen to you?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it's definitely happened before. I don't think it's happened this year. I've gotten better at checking the IMDb out ahead of it. But I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Do you think that there ever come a time where you just stop watching movies?
I don't know, man. I mean, I've been watching movies since I was a little kid. I personally, I don't see myself stopping. You know, obviously, with the new baby coming, um, my the amount of times I go to the actual movies might decrease, right?
Oh yeah, I think so. Do you have like a vision of like stuff you're excited to show, your little baby?
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna be as soon as he's born, I'm taking him to the movies. You know,
As a
uh,
baby, as an infant,
yes, yes.
everybody's like yelling at you, "Get him out of here! What are you doing?" Um, yeah, I mean, Chloe was two, I think, when she went to her first one at the movie theater. And dude, she get to see It's a Wonderful Life age 3. That's kind of cool in the theater. So she's been twice. But I've always been showing her stuff. Even when she was a baby, we would sit and watch Andy Griffith. And so, um, she's she likes movies and she likes pr t TV shows like that.
Yeah,
It's interesting. I'm glad that she's like cool with black and white. Like I wanted to start her out with some like stuff that wasn't as sensational, so she could because for a lot of people, if you don't grow up around it, it's just like can be boring, or you could just like because you're used to all the
the
high, more aggressive
yeah,
stuff, like the
it's
color and the CGI, and then you're like,
exactly.
oh, it's boring, it's slow. So it's
And
like, but she likes black and white movies, and she could get interested, and she asks a lot of questions about it while we watch.
that's good, man. I'm glad you started her off with black and white films, and I'd like to. I don't. I have a general idea of the movies that I want to show the baby. Of course,
Mm.
I want to show him Magnolia. Uh,
Oh my gosh, dude. Well, I mean, this is kind of what I'm thinking about, though. Like, I'm thinking about, I was having some weird thoughts yesterday because me and Lori kept talking about Die My Love, and I was thinking about Martin Scorsese, who produced it, and I was thinking about actors and the positions that they put themselves in and that the filmmakers put them in, and just the insanity of it.
yeah,
Like if you think about it, like what are we doing? Like we're like, okay, you guys take your clothes off and like, hit the wall and what is going on? And I'll film it, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? And I'm
yeah.
like, why? I started having like some existential stuff, dude. I was like, why am I always talking so well about this guy, Martin Scorsese, who's just like, you know, he's doing these things that like, I don't know, like I feel like if I had a friend, who's like, hey, I'm gonna go, you know, tell this girl to get naked and film her, I'd be like, what are you doing? Um, if you think about it, like the whole thing, and I know like the art world is a complicated world, and like there's all kinds of reasons to think about things and participate in things, and
Yeah.
what I don't know, for some reason I just got, and especially when you have kids, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing on this planet? Like, how are we spending our time? Have we gotten this all wrong?
I agree with you, man, and it's funny because this morning I woke up super early, and it's one of those things where I'm sitting there,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just looking out into the darkness, and I grab my phone to check the
Uh-huh.
time, and I looked at I pulled up YouTube, and the first thing that pulled up was a video where they were interviewing this doctor who had written a
Uh-huh.
book about how social media, right, is ruining your happiness. It's ruining your life, and I thought about it, and it was one of those things where it's just like, although I don't really get on social media, I don't. The only social media I do touch kind of is YouTube, which everyone watches YouTube. I think that's probably the highest number app that people go to, right?
Mm.
And I was thinking about it, and it's funny that you said you had that thought of what are we doing here. I had that thought very similar to that, where I was just like, what are we doing with ourselves, like back then we didn't have all this, right? So like if I spend like like in total like 5 hours just looking at my phone combined, obviously, right?
Mm.
That's 5 hours of our life that's gone just because we were looking at our phone. You know,
Mm.
what do we
Mm.
do? And you're right, Mitch. What are we doing with our life? It almost makes me, if I didn't know I needed my phone as much as I do, because I do a lot of work related stuff with it. If I didn't need it as much as I do, I would have definitely switched back to a flip phone, man.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, man. The amount of times I hear that in a week is getting to be funny. Like so it's like if I could just get rid of this thing. But the thing is, it's like we can and we can't. Like you said, there's like work stuff and like all these different considerations. But we can. We literally can. But it's a. But what is the enriched life? That's the question I've been asking myself since Chloe was born because everybody's saying like, oh, you need to do this for her, this for her. I'm like, is that actually what an enriched life is? Is it getting this, or is it having this particular brand of education, or is it, what does it mean to live an enriched life?
I
Are movies part of that? Probably, maybe not. Maybe definitely not. Yes, they are. I don't know. Last night I was like, what's this TV doing in my living room? What is this like? This is like I felt like I got blasted back to the ancient world, and this was like my little idol that I was making offerings to. And we had some scented candles around it, so it kind of added to the effect.
well, I think it's each to his own, Mitch.
Maybe.
You
I
you
mean, that idea can only go so far. Yeah, to some extent, you're right. Yeah.
what you find meaningful in your life that's going to bring happiness may not be what I think will bring happiness to my own child. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
think to a
I,
great extent that's true.
and you know what, like a perfect example of how we just kind of, for example, you plan on homeschooling your child, right?
Yeah, currently, yeah.
Okay. I, on the other hand, plan on not homeschooling, mainly because I think the whole experience of going to kindergarten, going to middle school, going to high school is essential for kids when they're growing up. But that's just my opinion. I'm not judging you for the way you're going to be raising your child, right?
Well, at some level, I need you to judge me, even though ultimately I'm going to have to make my final decision. And by judge here, I just mean like I need you to like we need each other to weigh in on what the other's doing. But uh, I think what you're saying is largely true that it is to each their own in some respects. But I think there are other respects in which it's not the case. I think there are some things that are probably more universal, but it's too hard to think about. Maybe I don't have to think about it. I definitely do.
I I just think that hold on. So
I mean,
for
if I
me,
never watched another movie again, maybe that's fine. Maybe it's
yeah,
better. I don't know. It's dry January. I'm having a hard time.
No, man. For me, the reason why I'm very, very cautious about any kind of advice that I give other parents, mainly because of the fact that I understand that every parent is gonna raise their child in a very different way. That's my understanding, and although I may have my opinions on it, right? Um, I've there's been what do you call it? There's been kind of like not issues, but like there's been kind of like whenever people have their opinion of someone else's parenting style, there's always that parent always gets offended, you know? And
Yeah, but that is that not like a pride thing in a lot of ways?
I think
Like
well yeah,
it,
I agree. It is a pride thing, but because you and I have been friends for so long, I the last thing I'd want to do is offend you in that manner, you
well,
know?
I should be able to receive advice from you, and you should be able to give it, and ultimately I'm responsible and have to do,
Yeah.
you know, what my conscience, permits. But
Yeah, I
I
get
feel
you.
like
I
we got
think
to
you're right.
be able to hear from each other about this stuff, because there's some things I've got blind spots, and there's maybe something I'm missing, and maybe it's like you take it or you don't. But I do get offended sometimes. I'm not saying like I'm above that, certainly, but I think it's like when driving down the road, you know how like much it gets under your skin when somebody's like backseat driving, or they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, don't do this," or like, "Oh, you're getting it too far over," or you're like, "Oh, you're about to hit that." It just could drive you crazy, but it's like, wait a minute, that actually could, like, if I was zoning out or wasn't paying attention, like
Yeah.
this could save our lives. Like, what's the big deal? It's just like my ego or something.
Yeah, I guess my question to you is, going back to, and I appreciate you saying that, and I would like you to kind of like if you thought like if you had an opinion where a suggestion about, how I was raising, my child, that would be great, I I think, and this is just my opinion, man. Like I think that your experience going to elementary school, going to middle school, going to high school, it made you who you are because although there was a lot of
That's right.
bad things, Mitch, there was a lot of beauty in it too. And
That's right.
I think it's essential for children to go through that. I think it's important. Um, I would not, dude. I mean, you know this about me. I was bullied quite a bit in middle school. I was bullied quite a bit going into junior high. At the time, it was hard. I pushed through it. Right, I persevered. I had a good family, I got through it. And for me, I think it builds character in a way that and it builds empathy, man. Because now I'm able to relate to these kids that I speak to, right? These teens, whenever I give them career advice and stuff like that. So my experiences in elementary, middle school, high school, eventually college, it,
Yeah, but you could say that no matter what you do, right? You could say the same thing about a homeschooling experience. You're like, oh, that experience made you who you are. And I don't think, my aspirations in that direction are in the realm of saying like I can possibly shield you from, you know, the pain that's out there. Because I look back on my high school, middle school, elementary experience. Like I wouldn't trade it necessarily. But with everything, you're like trying to find net positives and net negatives,
yeah,
and thinking about, because that does seem like an enriched life to me, and I had an enriching. public school experience, and the level of education that I think I got at Aniana, I think even anecdotally seems like above average for a K through 12 experience. But um, like is that is that kind of how to say is that the enriched life? Like, what does it mean
Yeah.
to uh, it's like what would it mean instead to like this family unit? You're right. Like, if we learned and grew in this household together, rather than maybe this is too negatively connoted a verb, but instead of offsetting it to uh, some institution, it's just like there's lots of ways to go about this, and I think it's pretty tough to say net negative or net positive, and a lot of parenting, I guess, is it is like research and stuff, but a lot of it too is just intuition because there's so many voices out there. Um,
Yeah.
and you and both can have positive or negative outcomes. And so you can't always even judge it based on the outcomes, because people that went to homeschool hate it, people that went to public school hate it, and then the inverse is also true. People who went to homeschool and public school love it. So it's just, you know, one day at a time, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it goes back to ultimately it is going to be a decision that you and Lori have to make, right? You're going to have to weigh the pros and the cons and everything like that. So I mean, look, that's just my opinion, right?
And
Uh,
that's why you shouldn't watch movies. I want everybody to turn your TVs off right now. I want you to open your windows, throw your head out the window, and say, "I've had it. I'm not." What is it they say in network? I'm not gonna. I'm mad as heck, and I couldn't even say that swear. I'm too Boy Scout. Uh, and I'm not gonna take it anymore.
oh, did my had to put my wallet. I forgot, dude. I had my wallet out in the open.
Been there.
Yeah, I was just like,
Yeah, I
well,
haven't carried a wallet in years. You remember Lester, right?
yeah, Lester.
Yeah, he said you gotta stop carrying a wallet. It's bad for your back. I'm like, okay, done.
Well, where do you carry things?
I have a paper, those paper clips that you kind of fold over.
Oh yeah.
I have one of those. My card's all in it.
You know which one I'm wanting is those very thin steel ones. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what they're
Oh
called.
yeah, yeah. Those are cool. Those money clips.
Yeah, like they're very compact. You just carry
Hmm.
some cards, IDs, it's very tight. Whew.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
well, folks, you were in for a surprise. You came on here uh, expecting a this is what talking about movies leads to, folks.
yeah, yeah. You came on here expecting to hear about movies, and if the YouTube analytics are correct, you clicked off the video in exactly 3 seconds.
There you go. Hey, that's freaking funny. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
See, man.